All right, so now we're going to talk about some of the most effective thumbnails that get the best click-through rates and why. Then I'm going to show you some examples and case studies. And then in the next lecture, we'll talk about how you can make thumbnails for free that look just like this, all right? So first of all, what you want to do is think as a viewer. So you want to put yourself in the viewer's shoes and think, what would I personally click on and why? What do I normally click on, right? What kind of things make me click? What kind of things make me not click, right? So that's what you want to think about. And you want to think about making your thumbnail stand out compared to everyone else. So thumbnails are one of the most important parts about a good video. So you have to make a really good thumbnail. So do not skimp on the thumbnail. And so a lot of people ask me, like, what is the most important part? And they'll skimp on the thumbnails a lot. And the thumbnails are literally what make people decide if they're going to click or not. Like, people will just be scrolling through and you need your thumbnail to make them stop and click, right? That's how you're going to start getting views. So that's what you really need to do. You need to focus a lot of time on your thumbnails. And so some of the best thumbnails are ones that show human emotion. So there are statistics out there that say that thumbnails that have faces on them get more clicks, okay? So one of the reasons for that is our brains are actually built to identify faces so that we can gauge emotion and gauge safety and things like that. So our brains actually scan and identify faces quickly. So it helps you stop and look at that thumbnail. And so if you're a personal brand, that'll probably be your own face making different faces. And then smiles work well. So humans are likely to notice smiling faces, really just any emotion, okay? So whatever the video is can change like what the emotion will be. Or if you're doing a video on somebody else, then you'd want to use their face. And we'll talk more about this later about, how to find ones that actually look realistic with their emotion that they should be portraying on the thumbnail along with the title. And then thumbnails that stick out with bright colors. So they catch your attention, and so what you want to do is look in the search results and be like, what do I want to rank for? And then look at kind of where you might be in the rankings and think, how exactly can I stick out from these ones that are on the search results? So maybe everybody has red on their background, so you want to make blue as your background, because for instance, make money on YouTube niche, a lot of people use red thumbnails. So if you use a bright blue thumbnail, it's going to stick out comparative to the other ones that you are competing against. And so as you guys know, red, green, yellow arrows and circles can definitely help with click-through as well. And I will show you examples of that as well. And then text that pops. So some niches have more text than others. Some niches work better with no text. Some work better with some text. And so you'll study your niche. Always study your niche and see what some of the best videos in your niche are, and that'll give you an idea of what works best in that niche. But thumbnails are very niche dependent. But no matter what, you should not repeat your title text in your thumbnail. Your thumbnail text needs to add more. It needs to work together with your title to add more, to tell more of a story, to make people want to click more. So really think about if you need text or not, and then if you do, what you want to portray that you couldn't portray clearly in the title. And make sure, if you do put text on, make sure it's really big, because the thumbnails will be shown small, okay? So I see a lot of students who have text that's like really small where you can't even read it in the search results, and so then it's not worth having and it just makes it look messy. So just use a few big words. And so I will show you examples of this as well. And then for faces, which I'll show you examples, but you want to use like mid-talking screenshots or mid-action screenshots and not so much headshots. So again, we will talk through examples of that. So, all right, so now we will show you some examples here. So for instance, like just on the home page, you can see what's really working well. And you can see a lot of these things that I just told you about. So this Alex Becker thumbnail, if you have thought this, you are sick. So what does that do? That provokes curiosity. You want to know, do I have that thought? Am I sick? Right? So that makes you want to click on it. And then he's got that arrow there as well, which again, and the bright sick, right? And just the words, it just draws you in. It's a good thumbnail. Same thing here with Karen Nate. We slept here. So the title does not say anything about we slept here, right? It's surviving at night in America's largest sand dunes, crazy sandstorm. And then to add more, it's we slept here, okay, with a nice high quality really high quality picture with lots of color. It just kind of pulls you in. So they do a really good job with that. If we go down here, what do you see? You see Drake, and he's got emotion, right? To keep rolling through here, bright colors, my new irons, a big old arrow right there as well. And so another example of piquing curiosity, so I typed there's something very strange, just looking for different things here. There's something very strange on the radar right now, and as you can see, it's got 62,000 views on it. But if you look, it piques your curiosity because what you see on this picture, you really don't know what the heck it is. And so you're like, okay, something very strange. Caps on very, right? And then you don't know what the heck this is even showing. So that makes you want to know, like, what is this weird, strange thing? Because it doesn't look strange on the thumbnail, really. So then it makes you wonder what's going on. And so if you scroll down here, you will see this is actually a fake Jason A channel, and he's using a thumbnail from Visual, who was a channel that I couldn't find anymore, but he used to have really good thumbnails. So as you can see here, for a while he was putting ghosts behind like celebrities and circling them, and these thumbnails do really well. So this is like a fake, basically a fake channel, but trying to copy Visual. But in general, Visual was getting really good click-through rates, and he was using thumbnails like this right here. If we go and look at Jason A, he's really good at making people want to click. So these thumbnails and the pictures and the titles and everything just draw you in. 2020, something strange is going on, and then this picture, like, it piques curiosity. You don't know what the heck it is. Something biblical is going on. You don't know what the heck is going on here in this picture. So all of these do a really good job of piquing curiosity. So if you go ahead and type in scariest places on YouTube, these do a really good job as well. So like this one right here piques your curiosity because it's circling this, but you can't even see what it is. So it makes you want to know what it is. If you could see what it was, you wouldn't be as interested in clicking on it. But since you can't, you really want to see it. Or like 10 scariest places no one dares to visit. So then that makes you wonder, like, why does no one dare to visit it, right? Top 10 scary places you should never visit. Like, now you want to click on it and know why you shouldn't visit it. Or like this one right here. So there's an arrow pointing at this mountain, but you don't even know what it's pointing at. So that piques curiosity. What exactly is it that it's pointing at? Or like this one right here, 10 places you shouldn't explore. And like, I don't even know what the heck that is. It makes you want to click on it. This one right here, 20 creepiest Google Earth images. You're like, what exactly is this, right? You have no clue what it is. It makes you want to click on it. Or like this one right here, 10 impossible places that shouldn't actually exist. And again, you have no clue what that picture even is. So it piques curiosity, makes you want to click. And so now another thing that you need to do is, like I said, use mid-talking screenshots. So for instance, if I was going to make a video where it's John Cena announces an important announcement about his future, okay? What some people and a lot of people do is they'll pick some picture like this, right? He's in action, but you can tell it's a movie, right? So he's not going to be giving an important announcement about his future because this is clearly a movie. Or they'll just pick something like this, where it's like, yeah, that's John Cena. But you want one where it looks like in that video, he is giving an important announcement that you want to see. So something, and so they'll pick one where... Or they'll pick one like this or something where you can tell that this is a promo. He's not actually doing an important announcement about his future. You can tell this is like a promo that he's doing on TV. So that makes you not want to click on it. But if you pick something like this right here, or you pick something like this right here, you know, or if you can find one that really looks like he's in an actual interview that has nothing to do with wrestling, then that's what you want to look for. Another example, so like if you did one where it was like Hillary Duff exposes Pizzagate, right? You wouldn't want to, so what you would want to do is pick one where she's like crying in an actual interview. So you wouldn't want one like this because you can tell she's in a movie. So that makes you not as enticed to click on it. Or like this one right here, it looks like she's in a movie. But if you just pick like a normal picture of her, right, it's not going to be as effective. If you use one like this right here and you say Hillary Duff exposes Pizzagate, and you can tell that she's like crying while she's doing it, that looks like an interview where she's actually exposing something and crying. that entices you to click on it at that point. So there's a big difference between exactly what picture you use. All of those things play a huge factor, and those show emotion, and it tells a story of what they might actually see if they click on that video. So it might be something where you're just talking about it and, you know, breaking down something about Hillary Duff or whatever. But when you use this picture, it makes them think that they're going to click on this and see this video. So that is how you do that. And then just as a side note, if you're worried about using like a John Cena picture from Google, so I've never seen an issue ever with somebody getting like a copyright strike or getting their channel in trouble for using pictures from Google. Almost every single channel uses pictures from Google that they find of people. But if you're afraid of doing that and you don't want to do that, but you need a picture of John Cena, you can go ahead and click settings here and then go to advanced search. And then if you go down to free use to use or share, then that right there is going to give you John Cena pictures that are free to use. So you can use all of these pictures of John Cena. And so that way you're able to use them and you don't have to worry about, any strikes or anything like that. If you're concerned about the legality of using a picture from Google for a thumbnail, but I've never seen an issue with that. And I've been using, pictures from Google for thumbnails for years, and almost every other channel does as well. But just in case you are concerned about that, I thought I'd throw that in there as well. So now in the next lecture, we're going to go ahead and talk about how you can actually create thumbnails for free.